And here we are at the end of the reading of Lue Elizondo's book Imminent regarding his experiences hunting UFOs, UAPs while working for the Pentagon, and providing a summary of knowledge regarding these exotic objects and the intelligence hidden behind them. So let us delve straight into action from where we left the last time. You can watch part 1 from the link below. The next thing discussed by the author in the book is the issue of implants of exotic, presumably non-human origins. Such implants were found in the bodies of military service people and in one instance in the body of a senior CIA official who experienced a close encounter with a UAP in his backyard. Said implants were peculiar as they perfectly evaded the immune response of the host's body. They seemed to be covered by a thin layer of tissue, also presumably from the host's body, which was possibly a part of the mechanism preventing the rejection inside the body. The implants showed an alarming capacity because when subjected to attempted excision, they moved away from the attempted cut site, as if trying to escape the removal process altogether. Moreover, once eventually removed, they remained mobile for some time, as if still able to process energy they have drawn from their host until they ran out of it. In addition to more lumpy implants, there were also fibers or filaments discovered which behaved in a similar manner. The spooky characteristics even had one researcher quit her studies on the objects. The details of the function and especially the purpose of such implants was never identified. The next part describes Lue's work for and at ATIP, Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, the successor to OSOP he and Jay Stratton piloted in 2010s. This was the period of time when the veteran physicist Hal Puthoff, already mentioned in the first video, realized that the Roswell crash may have been caused by a test of an atomic bomb. The resulting electromagnetic impulse could send all kinds of disruptions to any and all electronic devices, propulsion systems, life support systems, avionics, onboard instrumentation. Even if the disrupted technology was unknown, downing a UAP was suddenly something on the table with all possible consequences thereof. Lue next mentions his personal story and thereafter related medical experiences of people who came close to UAPs. The reports he mentions include the locally famous, that means in the UK, close encounter of military people in the Rendlesham Forest in 1980. As a matter of fact, the personnel involved in the encounter back then have been officially granted medical disability benefits and have been acknowledged as being harmed on duty. Given how much stigma UAPs carry around, this fact speaks volumes in and of itself. The next part mentions the biologics recovered from crash sites. The bodies studied by the CIA, which included autopsy reports of non-human remains, indicated the presence of a brain without convolutions, namely a smooth brain lacking the intricate crevices and structures which are the hallmark of our own intelligence. It would seem that these entities were not meant to be extremely intelligent. They also had a conjoined gut and liver and a 3-compartment heart, similar to that of most reptiles, except for crocodiles. One of the possible explanations here was that the beings have been engineered or designed to perform specific tasks, possibly not overly complicated either. One of the theories behind those beings was that the greys, as the autopsies have involved those beings, could indicate they have been created by the so-called tall whites or Nordic-looking aliens. However, no strong evidence for this exists and it is posited only as a possibility. We get to hear how the team involved with the ATIP works brush their heads and processing power against advanced technologies like the famous Alcubierre's drive or warp drive in layman's terms. Advanced material science is also mentioned, like the angel hair materials and what seem to be molten metals sometimes observed falling from the UAPs. We get the mentions of the titans in their respective fields, Hal Puthoff, Jacques Vallée and Gary Nolan, the latter being involved in the link between the morphology of human brain and experiences with the phenomenon. The theory of specific heritage playing a role in psychic abilities is also brought forward. On the tech note, the group realized that it is possible for the UAPs to bend space-time and create a warp bubble, with time and speed being different on both sides of the bubble. The saucer-shaped craft could use one such bubble, Tic Tacs 2, Triangle Craft 3 or 4 and so on. The fascination of the craft with water could be explained by the potential refueling hydrogen for use as a fuel on board the craft. All the conclusions led to the ultimate conclusion that humanity may be at the brink of using similar tech, and being the violent species that we are, we may be observed and possibly quarantined, so to say, the moment we may become a potential threat to the NHI. Speaking of warp drives, the effects of locally bending space-time for the craft to move with unattainable for us characteristics could also explain the low observability of the craft. with light and radar waves undergoing extreme Doppler effects and becoming unreadable or heavily distorted for the receiving sensors. Another side effect of this is the sixth biological observable. People who are allegedly close to exotic craft have reported strange effects similar to radiation burns. Light passing through the bubble boundary could be Doppler shifted to far UV, X-ray and even gamma ray ranges of electromagnetic radiation. Some experiences actually report strange time perception and even episodes of missing time, quite matching the bubble and the warp drive idea. Then we also have the idea of baiting the UAP using a navy group including vessels with nuclear power, including submarines. The exotic craft is drawn to such objects like flies to flypaper, and once closed, the Navy systems would deploy all the possible sensors to make all the possible measurements of the objects. Next, we reach the point at which Lue decided that enough is enough from stonewalling by and within the Pentagon to his perceived duty of disclosing the fact that we are not alone to humanity at large. This eventually led him to leaving his post at the cost of a massive impact onto the material well-being of his family, one he also mentions in his new interview published by the NewsNation TV station, see the link below. His efforts and struggles ever since leaving the post he held in the government and how he faced attempts at being discredited are also described. Lue also presents the fact that even the presidents of the United States are not always briefed about the existence of UAP and non-human intelligence, and even those that are offered cursory knowledge at best. To his knowledge, the ones briefed include Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Carter, Reagan, George Bush the Elder, and Donald Trump. The final pages of the book bring us closer and closer to what many perceive as the disclosure process to be happening. It includes the growing openness of the legislative branch of the US governmental and political structures, including the involvement of the late Senator Harry Reid, the UAP Disclosure Act, the July 2023 UAP hearing before the Congress, and many more. As a bonus, we get great quotes dedicated to encouraging, if not outright disclosure, then at least research of the fact that there is more to life in the universe than ourselves. We also get to see a bit more private side of the author with his photos and those of his family over the years, up to the final photo taken in 2024 at the Capitol Hill. The last pages of the core text of the book conclude with an appeal, an underline indicating that disclosure is not a singular event but a process, and at the end of the day there is only so much people like Lue Elizondo can do. To push our collective knowledge and the process of disclosure forward, all of those interested in it should do their part as well, and I can only agree with that notion. As Lue said, write to your representative in your governments, parliaments, and so on. Talk with your families and friends. Most will probably dismiss the topic and some may even ridicule it, but chances are, and quite high at that someone will be interested. Maybe it will also help someone with more direct experience open up about it. We can move forward and help humanity grow as a whole only if we work on it together. This is the very idea which also lies behind this channel. It doesn't matter that it does not garner millions of views. It pushes the knowledge and makes it available to the viewers. It is intended to raise a thought, pique curiosity, one of the small stones eventually paving the road towards a new reality in which it is acknowledged that there is much more to it than just us and ourselves. So, this is a brief summary of the book Imminent by Lue Elizondo. I would recommend it whether you are a veteran of the topic or just take your first steps, and especially so if you do. It covers all the key topics and events related to the UFOs, UAPs, and the process of disclosure. You can find links which allow you to order the book, listen to an interview with Lue below. In the next video, we will return to the possible origins of non-human intelligence. Feel free to leave a comment below, whether you have read the book, you intend to read the book, or you don't intend to read it. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, it helps spread the knowledge. Take care and I will see you in the next one.